From his spot, high above the ground, the view was nothing special. The Warren Hotel was the only building for miles, perched miserably on a hill in a bleak, gray countryside. It was ringed by a forest of equally bleak and withered trees. You could walk for hours in every direction without finding anything interesting. But Warren wasn't looking at the depressing view. He was looking beyond it, past the horizon, to where the rest of the world existed. He imagined cities and jungles, seaports and deserts, landscapes he knew only from books. All places he would love to visit, were it not for the fact that he was 12 years old and heir to his family's hotel, where he worked as the sole bellhop, handyman, exterminator, room service valet, and all-around errand boy. Warren the 13th had spent his whole life at the hotel, just as his father and 11 other Warrens had before him. With a sigh, he returned to the grim task of chimney cleaning. Soon his hands were black with soot. He yanked out dozens of sticks and branches and a handful of stranger, more unexpected objects. A lady's lace bonnet, a rusty nail file, a pie pan, even a bag of marbles he recognized as his own. Warren was trying to figure out how the Ravens could have retrieved a bag of marbles from the desk drawer in his attic room when a low, growling noise caught his attention. Warren squinted into the early morning fog. To his astonishment, he saw movement in the forest. Concealed by a canopy of spindly branches, a large, dark shape was weaving through the trees. The woods around the hotel teemed with bears and wild boars, but this shape was larger than any animal. It growled again, and Warren's heart gave a leap. This was no ordinary creature. It was an automobile. He hadn't seen an automobile since the last guest exited the Warren Hotel, vowing never to return. 5 long years had passed without a single customer. Warren's eyes grew large as the automobile crested the hill. At last, someone was coming to stay with them. The car passed through the once grand iron gates and slowed to a stop at the front doors of the Warren Hotel. And that's precisely when Warren remembered it was his job to greet new arrivals and help with their bags. He winced as the hotel intercom sputtered to life, its tinny sound echoing inside the chimney shaft with his Uncle Rupert's panicked voice ringing through the static. "Warren!" He had to get to the lobby right away. Warren considered using the chimney as a shortcut, but 8 stories was a long way down. Instead, he leapt off the side of the roof, grabbed a rain gutter with one hand, and swung through a window in the attic. He landed with a thump, sprinkling soot all over the small bed and desk that crowded his tiny room. Warren used to sleep in one of the large bedrooms on the hotel's 2nd floor. But Aunt Anaconda didn't like having children around and wanted him out of her way. She banished him to the hotel's topmost floor, 8 floors away from the lobby where Warren did most of his work. Dashing to a spot on the floor of his room, Warren raised a trapdoor, climbed down a wooden ladder, and landed with a thump inside the 8th floor hallway. He picked himself up and ran to the main stairwell, his mind abuzz with possibilities. Who was this mystery guest, and why had this person come to his hotel? Things had been much different when Warren was little. Back then, the hotel was booked months in advance. Grand automobiles paraded along the driveway all night long. Guests arrived